one person, hey, if you're here, I'm here too. 10 seconds. More like 20 seconds, 18 seconds, and I lost them, but they left me a like, so we're good with it. We're good with it. Hey, they left the place better than they found it, right? They left it better than they found it. Lack of secret agenda is an inhibitor to the social media game. It really is when you don't have a bunch of ulterior motives. I'm just too dumb. That's really what it is. I'm just too dumb to figure it out. It's pretty crazy though that. Hi Andrea, howdy. I click live without a plan again. I was thinking about walking over. There's like about like catty corner block from me. There's sometimes I'm just blank, Andrea. Just like I have all these things that I think I'm like formulating. You know what the problem is that my laziness has taken over the care to, like, I'll have things in my head and I know if I don't go write them down right then that I'll be a little bit later trying to remember what it was. And it's been a lot lately where I just say screw it. Like if I know the notebook and pen is somewhere that I gotta go look, I'll just be like, there's a bunch of cops right over here. It's got one car pulled over, but it's a lot of a response for even these ones. I'm wondering what they might have just ran into. It's like, you're too nice. You're too nice because I think we both know that's not the case here. I want to know. I'm so nosy. I want to know what's going on. There's all these there's like the plane, like the blacked out state troopers, like riding around the block now and stuff. And all the city cops have one car pulled over. They do roll up deep. They'll be like two squad cars and probably between like 3 and 4 officers for a bad sticker stop. But there's like more than 5 city vehicles on one car right on Main Street in the most busy light intersection part of what splits off of Main Street, and all the cops that aren't like labeled vehicles are circling around. Like, to me, in my criminal past mindset makes me think I'm about to see somebody on foot. It's like somebody's trying to get off on them. And if I didn't have kids, I would open the door. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll find out what they did later, but I mean, they're not welcome here. I'll point at them because my kids are here, for real. Just to be perfectly honest, because I don't know what they're doing, and that could be all imaginary anyways. It's just like I see it a lot, so I kind of get how they respond to things. And it's like they're circling around. They have all the lights on up. It doesn't even matter. I don't even know why I was just over there on my bicycle though, watching them. Could someone have run? You probably typed that as I was. Yeah. That's why I think they're circling around. See, I know that's the only thing that makes sense. Is it's like they're already piled up on that car on Main Street with all the labeled city cop cars with all their lights flashing and stuff. So then why is the plain ones that aren't labeled, no lights on, keep coming past? It depends on what he did is how I would react to that. It's probably got more to do with you, Andrea. Did you ever find out like what was going on? Oh well, see, I don't agree with that situation, to be honest with you. I really don't. I'm not going to get into a deep thing about that, but child support, and I'm a stepdad to somebody who owes incredible amount in our world, like tens of thousands of dollars in child support. And I've always said, let them go. You know what I mean? These kids is gonna grow up. They're gonna know who's who and who cared and who didn't and all that stuff. The one thing, Andrea, I don't have is I don't have any stupid kids. Like, I'm not worried about it's such a minuscule amount of money too. And that's the other reason why I don't like it. I know more than one person that I've known who has quit jobs and stuff because of that. Because you get an attitude. It's like, well, they're taking it, and it's very negative energy. It's negative energy. And I'll just go ahead, and since I already said something, it's only supposed to be because of like some ridiculous circumstances. And I can't even believe that any part of the government would put this on paper because of how sick it sounds. But for 2 kids, it was only supposed to be $40 a month. It's really, and we're looking at 9 years now. Yeah. It's too bad logic isn't usually the motivator in that. There's something real primal about that with picking our mates. There's something. Sorry, I get distracted by like weirdness. I ain't meant for the city, Andrea. I'm really not. I pay too much attention to what everybody else is doing, and I don't. And that's not even my mindset. Like in real life, like I'm really like one of those people that's like I could see a couple arguing very like violently and stuff, and like I mind my business. Like I really do. Like I don't get in people's stuff. Like everybody wants to pretend like there's some hero and stuff like that, but I've learned from experience that most of the times when you get involved, you end up being the bad guy in the end, because then they both, they make up and then you're the problem and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, if it's not, I don't want to say consensual. It's like if they're not agreeing to it, you're right, because then it's like you're the ones taking it and stealing it instead of just letting things play out. It's not like these kids aren't going to eat without it, or you know what I mean? So to try to do that, it's better off to just let it play out for them on their end. If they don't want to have any connection to their children, then maybe it's supposed to be that way. I think our whole entire life scripts and stuff are so much more. I don't like to use words like predestined or like scripted reality and stuff. Shout out to channel Decode Your Reality, Logan. I like his channel when he uses the term scripted reality a lot and stuff. And I think that that's like partially right, but I don't like just like making it sound like it's 100% determined and like there's no variables, like there's no different timelines that we can go on from different decisions and different like possibilities of things that we can like create or co-create or whatever word fits. I do too. I'd actually prefer if we all had a little less for a little while. Just a little less like there's too much of it all. Like we have all of this, we've got all of this inner, I want to choose these words rightly because this is something that I've already tried to make a video about, so it's funny that you said that about like using just what you got and stuff like that, because whenever you have so many like possibilities of entertainment and expression, it kind of spoils it or like dampens it because you're not like trying to figure out what you're gonna make or something. It's just like, oh well, you could do all of these different things, but none of them are, it's like quantity over quality. I know I'm not making sense because I haven't explained it good enough yet, but it's like like what you're saying, but not just with physical materials, like or money, but to to not have an an abundance of like platforms and devices and editing software. I noticed that a lot of my ideas get left in my creative part of it. Like a lot of my ideas never come to fruition because I get too caught up on the exact details of it. When honestly, like when the best things that I can normally do would be visuals on top of. Here's my plan, Andrea. This is all I'm going to do here for now on now for a while. I'm going to upload on this channel, and I'm going to upload on TikTok. TikTok is separate. It'll be like duets and whatever, because it just seems like I have more chance of reaching more people there. So play the TikTok game completely separately, but then on YouTube I'm going to go back to my backup channel and I'm going to erase every single video off of it. On this channel I'm going to leave everything, no, reverse that. On this channel, on Just Michael, I'm going to delete everything off of here. I ain't even monetized or anything after what, 7-8 years. I've got like 300 subscribers, so I don't even care. The only thing that I'm losing by wiping this channel clean is watch hours, and my watch hours are nowhere near monetization requirement, so I'm like already like might as well not even worry about what it is because it's not worth anything. So I'm going to wipe this one completely clean, and I'm just going to use visuals my voice changer on my Video Guru editor on my phone. I'm going to just use like the Robo or the Monster voice thing, and I'm going to just try to provide information with visuals. And then I'll like vlog like this kind of stuff on the backup channel. Leave it alone, whatever's on there is on there. And when I say delete, I really mean set to private. But then like set everything to private on this voiceover visuals here. Personal channel for the backup, the Justin Michael one. So Just Michael, it's like I won't exist, like, you know, it's not based on like the human Justin. And then personal stuff, because I gotta separate it all. Yeah, give it to me, and then you can help me with what to put on it. This is my main channel just because it's the one I've had the longest. My main channel was Arconian's Lieutenant Michael, but after the rock fell on the guy in front of Kleck, they took it away. So I don't have Arconian's Lieutenant Michael no more, and I can't log into it or anything. And there was definitely well over 100. I would say hundreds. I would say multiple hundreds of videos. Majority of them set to private, just like the other two. But I want to put energy out, but I also like I get caught up. Like it's so important to have people. That's why like I would work with you, Andrea, if you wanted to like go in on a channel together. It's not like we're investing money, you know what I mean? We could just like try. I seem to mess myself up a lot, so that, and I can tell that when I get around a couple people at like a job, it doesn't matter if it's McDonald's or anything, but I get like 1 or 2 people that are like efficient in like just the day-to-day movement of whatever we're doing. I find about myself that I get extremely more efficient when I have people. Like as much as I like to like talk and stuff and act like I just like to be by myself all the time, and I really do. Just family. I mean, as far as like friends and stuff like that, there's nobody. I don't like talk on the phone with people. I don't hang out with people. Like that's not a joke. I really don't. But when I have people around me and we're working towards a common goal, a common cause, I notice the difference in myself. I play off of other people better. That's why I started like trying to get so many people, like, well, not so many people, but that's why I tried to do just TikTok lives for a while, because there would be actual like people in the chat, and like I've tried to do a lot of live streams where it'd be like, join the chat, like, and just try to put titles and stuff to try, and then let it run for a while because I know that, you know, people might not see it, but just to try to get a couple people in, because then I can work off of them, what they say and what their energy is, instead of just trying to do it on my own. It's just not as efficient. It's just not. I have my moments, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not good enough. Yeah, it's like a frequency. I feel it too. I don't think I feel scared and insecure. I feel like I feel hesitant because I have a preset reactions, and I'm not trying to make this an I and me thing. It's just like I'm the one in front of the camera, and you're the only one in the chat. So that's why I don't really want to talk in general terms. There's no reason. I I feel hesitant about a lot, everything. It's like wherever our thoughts are getting beamed from, it's like there's a lot of them. It's like makes me second guess what I'm doing, and second guessing what I know. And that's the most bothersome part is because just recently with my PAP, I've known for a fact that there was like mistakes made in communication and stuff that were like the most important detail of it. It's nobody's fault or anything like that, but I knew that there was medical staff human error in communication, and I didn't stick with what I knew, and I started being like thinking the worst of things, you know. And then today, the next day, I found out like I was right. It wasn't like the worst of the worst, but they said it like it was the worst of the worst for a day, and I knew it didn't add up. So I was like, nah, it's not possible. That's a mistake. I knew how the mistake was made. I don't think it was nefarious or anything like that. I really don't. And if it was, I would rather not know right at the moment. But I was right. There is a lunar eclipse, but I don't remember if it's before or after, and I don't remember where. I'll Google it. I think you're right though. I think there is because we all know about the solar eclipse on the 8th. I'm gonna go right out on top of a hill. I'm right in the path of it. Like I grew up, you know, not many miles from Nineveh, PA. There's a lot of places that have biblical names, but I don't know. I'm gonna look right at it, Andrea. I'm gonna look right at it. I sun gaze at 3 p.m. almost every day. Every day that it's out, at least every day, Monday through Friday, and it definitely makes like my vision go bright and stuff for a minute. But when you look away and you let things settle for a second, it's not harming me. I've done it too many times at this point to still have 20/20 vision. I mean, it would have to be some pretty extended long-term side effects of sun gazing. So I'm looking right into it, Andrea. I'm going to be in the path of it, and when on April 8th, I will be up in a big open area. I'll be live streaming from multiple devices. I'll be fasting, and I will be just solar eclipse gazing, still and quiet. It's probably the only way, if there really is a transfer of like energy and data and stuff, doing what I'm doing and having a plan is probably not the best idea. And I have thought about that, but I also don't know if there's any, I have a feeling that there is, yeah, being still and quiet is like the smartest thing to tell people to do, because there's a good chance that there's some kind of like energy data transference that could take place at this time. But I'm going to be the what's it called? I'm going to be the experiment to see about just trying to just stare directly into it without getting distracted or anything, and from kind of like start to finish and stuff, because I'll just wonder too much if I don't. at this point. And I don't know when the next chance for that would be. Last time there was a big eclipse, there was an activation. That's what I mean, like, and I really think that it's like a software update. The game's upgraded. You did? All right. Well, I'm right there with you. I'll be doing it. I'm not gonna at least be concerned either. I looked at the last one. I looked at the one, but it wasn't like, you know what I mean? It wasn't visible where for me to see it like get dark. But this one will be. Back when we all first met. See, like what this. It's easy for me to have second thoughts and stuff, but I know that this stuff's not all random, Andrea. I know that. It's not possible. It's a 7-year cycle. Well, whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. But I intend on this next 7-year cycle to have, well, it will have less less of these life lessons that have been of the caliber that I required for proper refinement this past 7 years. We are so tribe. We are, Andrea. We are. There's a lot of people that, think, well, no, really? Well, if you talk to him again, tell him I say congratulations. Seriously. That'd be good for him, too. I liked Lefty. I always did. You know, I never tried to, like, boot him out of nothing or anything like that. I like going back and forth with him. And plus, I don't have the same kind of energy that a lot of people had to, like, try to make him feel like he, you know what I mean? I do feel like he would get a little adversarial intentionally because he just felt like it with certain people. He met a really nice lady pretty soon. They got married. I talked to him about that a little bit. Well, it's not up to us. I think on some level we're going to get pulled back into. Good. Well, tell him I said congratulations seriously the next time you talk to him if you think about it, because it's the best thing that could have happened to me. But we're gonna keep finding each other because it's like taking a handful of magnets and putting them in a bowl, like swishing the bowl around. Which ones are gonna, which ones are gonna click are gonna click. It's gonna come back around. I guess that wasn't too good of an analogy, but you know what I'm saying. Some kind of divine scriptedness, I guess, for lack of a better word, setupness, like, whatever. Intelligent design, we're gonna come back around. Appreciate it. The 9 o'clock yet? No, it's 8:20. Oh, that's what I meant, it's Sunday. I do need 1 second, I just gotta run up. Well, I'll take care of it. We are all bonded, we did our shadow work together. I don't know how much I did, though. Sometimes I think like I just went through it. You know what I mean? Instead of, I don't know how willing I've been. That's probably why I still smoke cigarettes and stuff, is because I'm not willing to do what I know I should all the time, because I don't understand if I have a choice. And if I don't have a choice, I'm not certain that I want to be better. Like, what I'm saying is like, everybody embarks on some kind of path of like spirituality or anything, has some kind of goal in their head to increase their worthiness of a being, become a better person, all that stuff, right? But if I found out like enough details about the reality that I found out it wasn't really a choice of it and it was more illusion, I'm not sure that I would want to. I more or less then want to kamikaze the situation instead of playing it more. If that makes any sense. If you don't like this, I'll make you noodles or something different, just so you know. Huh? It's like, I have to make it like that because the bottom is like, it's crispy. It shouldn't be too hard to chew or nothing. It's exactly what it was, Andrea. Hey, can you please set yourself up on the right end now? Put Peppa on and just get comfortable, and then I'll be back up to check everything out, okay? You don't need to get off the tablet yet. But we got about 15 minutes, okay? So, if you're watching a TV, you can leave it on, but if you're not, switch it to Peppa so it's on there, please. Love you. Peppa. God, it's gotta be. These other options for these shows is Peppa's the GOAT, because you sit down and you watch these ones you think are good, and then it's like you just start catching little slick stuff. It's like we stick with Peppa around here at nighttime. I don't force him to watch everything. I just want him to watch all day long. But it starts getting around 8:30, and Peppa time in this house. I try, even though with like the whole thing of like tablets and smart TVs in their rooms and stuff, phones, tablets, all three kids. The two older ones have a phone. The phone has data, it connects to the Wi-Fi. They can use the internet anywhere they go and stuff. All three have smartphones in it, and August has a tablet. This tablet's a little more advanced than his past tablets. This is more like a smartphone type of tablet. So, you know, I try to watch what goes in, because it's like eating. It is. It's like that for me and you, Andrea. We scrolling around watching stuff. Like, we're consuming it. The bratty little turtle Franklin. You know what's the one, it's not just, I don't think it's Peppa. One of the female characters on there gets August mad all the time. Because it's Peppa. I think Peppa is the one that gets brain food, gets him agitated, because she like interrupts. It's not George. She interrupts one of the characters that's not, like, I don't think the immediate family. I actually haven't sat down and watched it in quite a while. I have watched a good bit of it, but I do like it, but I watched it to the point where I confirmed to myself that that's the, and Peppa's been around this house for years. I should have showed you. He's got a little stuffed George on his bed. You realize the cartoon decode? What is it? Which cartoon? Because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of like little things that it's like, you know what I mean? A lot of things that look funny, like just symbolism. People trying to act like, you know, there's something with the pineapple and Bikini Bottom. Charlie Brown. I'm curious to hear what you mean by that, because it's so, I don't want to use the word plain, but I don't know where they, to go back and look. I haven't watched Charlie Brown since I was a kid. It was actually kind of, wouldn't want to say before my time, because I am 33 now. Each character is an alter of Charlie. Oh, that would be deep. It would be now. Is that just you on more of like a advanced, kind of like interpretation level, making it that for you, or do you think that the creators intended that? Because maybe you can see that because on some like higher forces level, that's how it was inspired to them as they created it. But do you think the creators intended that? Or I mean, I believe that if you say it, then I believe it's like that you can interpret it like that, and that makes sense. But sometimes I think like higher forces influence content creators of all kinds. It doesn't have to be YouTube, but like old cartoons were content creating, and I believe that things influence us. Higher forces are playing a game, and they're kind of using us. So that would be my question about that. Decode is, do you think, and this is the big discussion all the time on Decode Your Reality, Logan's channel, is people are always discussing is do the people involved know? Like there'll be all these things lining up, like so, like say like with Walt Disney's like birthday and his like place of birth and stuff like that. It'll just like synchronize up and with like decoding numbers, like using like gematria, like Chaldean is um, Logan's favorite from Decode Your Reality. He uses the Chaldean and stuff, but he's very convinced, and he's got me. I'm convinced too. He don't got me. I was convinced of this beforehand, but he put it into words for me better. Is that like people aren't like really knowing what they're doing most of the time. Like obviously there's bad stuff going on. There's people doing stuff and they know what they're doing, but higher influence consciousness, I do believe our influence is unaware people. I think that it's definitely like that, but it could be like more of like a broken down entities, you know what I mean? Like broken down, like which would make like angels and demons and stuff real, because Cat Williams said something about like he was like told Joe Rogan, he was like, well, let's just start at good and evil and then understand that if we know these exist, what must be at the extreme ends of it. So like just like we know that the creator is the leaves on the tree and the branches, it's like, is it the actual I think that there's in human form or in third dimensional form, there is so many middlemen to the, and when I say middleman, like I mean like energy fields or whatever you want to look at it as, and like made up of like some kind. I feel like it's all something that we don't know how to put into terms when it comes to like tone, frequency, color. Like all of this stuff is like fits into some kind of box that I don't know how to describe. Like the spectrum. Like yeah. So like obviously, I'm not just talking about like human looking like guys with horns on their heads and halos, but in whatever way for the particular details of the particular situation is how those extreme ends of the spectrum manifest. So like a demon one day could be something completely different to a demon the next day in a different set of circumstances, because the circumstances determine the manifestation, kind of like the double split thing, where it's like it's not until you're in the moment of your circumstances, your experiences, that you can even begin to identify what that's the problem, is we're trying to put these titles on stuff like all these like type of like entities of our reality, but it's like we don't need to give them a physical form, because we are the physical form playing out. They are the data, the etheric information that creates our thoughts and puts situations in front of us for us to play out, and then we get to do what we do to make them into what they are. That's why I'm not agreeing with Logan from Decode Your Reality about a completely scripted reality, because that means everything is predetermined, which means it doesn't matter what I choose, I'm heading to the same destination, and I don't believe that. And if I ever would get convinced of that, it would be pretty discouraging. It would be hard to stay motivated. I would give him a search. It's, I don't watch him all the time. Because it's like a lot of like like he's decoding, so it's a lot of like gematria type stuff, but he really does synchronize it together to the point where somebody who's never even did like any type of like number searches on any words or phrases or sentences, or has never really looked at a translation from one language to another, or has never even messed with the Strong's Concordance, let alone in a book, but online, like typing anything into Strong's, somebody who has nothing to do with any of that world, like the number game of decoding, would still, on some of his videos, be like, oh wow, like wow, that is a crazy coincidence. Like that's what I feel like if you just took somebody off the street and showed him a highlight reel of his, because there is a lot of 5-6 hour streams. Cool. No, I think that you'll appreciate him, Andrea, and if you don't, you know what to do. Yeah. Well, no, I don't get caught up. Some of them I seek out. I see you, Shiloh. I see you. I can see you. That's the first comment I have seen from you, so if you put any other ones, I didn't. But I hope he impresses you too. I doubt that he will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Decode Your Reality tribute, and I'm going to try to guess at where some highlights are, and try to make him a little clip short to put on my channel, so you could kind of see some of it, because I don't even know where to tell you to really look. It's very long content. We see you, Shiloh. So what I would suggest would be leaving it to fate, maybe bouncing around. This is what I do sometimes. If I know somebody's video is too long that I'm not going to sit and watch it, I'll just randomly like touch the like the thing that you drag across for like the time on where you're at on the video, and just wherever it's like, obviously you kind of know where like 30 minutes are, you kind of know where an hour is and stuff, but I just kind of like and then see what they're saying where I hit it at. Oh, I speed it up too. I speed everybody up. I speed myself up a lot of times. Like if I'm making something and I realize that I made a video that's like 7-8 minutes long, I can't even help it. I've ruined videos where I put them in too fast, to where it's like, because I just can't stand how long it takes to even in the editor for me. I like no plan of speeding my own video up or anything, then be in the editor and it be like annoying me, just like it playing in the editor. So then I just, because we're on supersonic speed now. We took the highway. A lot of people, it's not going to dawn on them until these manifestations are playing out, like these events. Like there's so many possibilities. Like whether it's like something in the sky that's real or a projection, whether it's like war stuff, anything, like there's so many possibilities. Yeah, I mean they got them. Some people are never going to break through the elemental forces working against them. It's in the air, it's in the water, and it's in the food. And it's not good enough to beat a human flat out, but you could convince the human to beat themselves with it in them. I know. I know. It seems like a lot of the ones that I was keeping track of have been having... Everybody thought I was crazy, but I've stayed the same crazy from day one. Maybe even got a little bit more sounder. Got a little bit more tired, I think. Principalities. I hate typing on this little screen. It sucks. I got a new phone account. Andrea, you are a managing moderator. Shiloh, you are a standard moderator. Refining is a tough process. Caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly. Spend all that time getting wrapped up in it, and then you still gotta rip it off of you. I'm expecting Lauren to pull up. I was gonna make you a moderator, Andrea, a long time ago. I don't know why. What happened was I tried to click on Shiloh because I wanted to see if there was any videos on there. I mean, I know, but I wanted to make just a check, and then I seen the option, and it reminded me. You might be shadow banned. You probably are. You're at least guilty by association just from everywhere that you go on the internet. I trust you, Andrea. Maybe one day there'll be like so many people in the chat that there'll actually be something for you to do. Oh, you know, and not to me. I will say this, not to even when you have, logic has overruled. So even when you have, we'll like use like a more modern term, checked me on things, I didn't get upset because it made sense. But you have a way of saying things that pertain to what people are going to care about, I think. Like, so if you notice something, you're really good at commenting words like as you know, not, I don't want to say like hitting where it counts, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Yeah, but that's your job. That's your job. And then it's very easy to be like, you know, you don't have a channel with 100,000 subscribers. You're not getting a check from YouTube for doing it. Same things that like I get to the point where it's like, and most of my work has been like your work, Andrea. I've been everywhere too, and I feel like I've extremely influenced energy. I've been in a lot of emails with a lot of larger content creators, a lot of communication that I feel. I do. I feel. I appreciate you. I really do. I do feel like, you know, I'm probably gonna have to jump off here, so I don't want to end it on a negative note, but I do feel like a little slighted on some things. Like you know, it's so, at this point, it's so childish to be like wanting credit for certain things, but it's like I can show you videos on large content creators, and I can show you my emails prior to their upload with the information. And it's like, no, they don't have to say anything or anything like that, but it's just like, you could see some of these people, it really, you know, it took its toll on them. They're a lot worse off than they were 7 years ago. We will never get credit. I know. I know. I know. It's not even just the ego. It's also, it's just like, could you imagine like building something, and the whole time that you're building it, you get to like the last part where you're just starting to finish it up, and somebody throws it on a trailer, drives it away, finishes the last piece, and then puts it on the news like they did it. I still have delusions of spreading my voice further here. So I believe that I have been protected like that. Yes, sir, Shiloh. And don't take offense that I don't call or anything like that, man. I don't call my cousins. If you call me and I'm by myself, I will answer. I really will. But I also, it has nothing, if there was going to be, if I was going to name two individuals that I would rather sit and have a conversation with on the phone, you two are very high on the list. Nobody's coming to mind at the moment that, especially, like, you know what I mean? It's like a discouraging thing to think about. It's like getting on the phone. It really is. It's discouraging to think about making videos anymore. Yeah, we should. No, we should. And you know what? Us three could do it and make it entertaining. We could. It's just like I don't know where to upload it except TikTok, so it has to be under 10 minutes long. And TikTok is messed up now too because of the stuff that I was talking about. So now it's like I can upload a video on TikTok that will be like real, like kind of along the lines of like trendy bullshit, and it will get like more and more views really fast, and then we'll stop. Like there's like I can get into the thousands and stuff, but when it stops, it stops. But then here, it's like 8, 9 views on all of them. Am I that bad at this? Like 8, 9 views? Am I that bad at it? Like I know that I'm not putting an entertainment factor in any of this that is required for the internet. But I feel like at this point, I just like letting steam off every once in a while when I click record, you know what I mean? But I still feel like when I look at some of these other channels and stuff, it's like, you know, how is it like 7 years later, I'm getting 8, 9 views on these videos? Like, it does surprise me, and it works against me. If it's a tactic or something like that, it has worked. Rumble is hard to use. I need a computer to use Rumble because I have Rumble and it is very, very glitchy and very difficult because you need to put it on the desktop version, even on the phone, to even access most of the options, and it's very tough. Like it doesn't work on my phone well at all. Like it's like everything you try to do, it just like kind of is constantly like trying to load and thinking and stuff. And I don't know, it has to be Rumble because my phone isn't doing that on anywhere else, on any other sites or anything. And at this point, it just feels like you got, you know, so much invested in being here, even though I never really built any type of like a channel up. I have, as far as content wise, like, you know, so it's like, man, I'm just restarting somewhere. And I think I'm uploading on Rumble every time I upload on this channel. They were supposed to be synced up, so. And at one point I seen I had like 6 cents or something in money and revenue on Rumble. Wouldn't that be something if I clicked on it, there was like $100 in there or something like that? I highly doubt it, but I will go look at Rumble now because I did have like 6 cents or something in and I don't even know how, because I doubt that there was any ads on anything because it's not enough views on anything. I don't need to be an admin or manager in anything. I think I have Zoom. You got a computer, don't you? I could just come in. I'll just talk to you guys, and if anything else, like document a conversation with us. But I'm gonna have to cut this off now. I appreciate you, Andrea. I would definitely ask you when I have a question. Shiloh, stay up. Don't waste your energy. I don't think you are, and I haven't even seen any uploads or anything, but oh, maybe did you lose your channel or did you just make a different one? It does, and it's hard to get used to. It does suck. Graphics and flash are good. Whatever you would think would be this, you know. Andrea, those kind of things, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I think like putting a lot of editing energy in is better, and then sometimes I think just kind of like raw. It depends on what you do, is what it is. You have to say stuff that matters. I love you both. I gotta go. Stay up. I appreciate you for real.